Details emerge about his background. Good evening. You're watching LA Live News Tonight. I'm Christine Devine.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Laura Diaz in for Marla Tejas. A Torrance man accused of attempting to assassinate President Donald Trump appears in federal court today to face 3 charges. Authorities say 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen traveled by train from LA to Washington, D.C., armed with a number of weapons. The attack happened Saturday night at the Washington Hilton. Allen is accused of opening fire, injuring a Secret Service agent. The agent was saved by a bulletproof vest. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche commended the agent's brave actions.
That act, that horrible act, was stopped because of the courage and professionalism of law enforcement. A lot of the information that the media is hearing through leaks or sources, some of it is true, some of it is not true, and at the right time you will hear information from us.
Well, Allen is a Caltech graduate and a former Teacher of the Month when he worked at a private tutoring company. Authorities say he sent his family a manifesto calling himself a, quote, friendly federal assassin. Cole Allen is being held without bail. If convicted, he could get life in prison.
We're learning more tonight about the accused shooter from Torrance. People who know him are speaking out.
Also reacting, the tutoring company where the suspect was employed. Fox 11's Rachel Aragon reports from Torrance.
Well, it's just shocking. Like I said, it was very shocking.
Cecilia Peralta in disbelief to learn the White House Correspondents' Dinner alleged shooter was a familiar face.
At the time when I saw the picture and I recognized him, I didn't realize that he had tutored her.
Cecilia, who did not want us to show her face, says she works at a nearby office on the same floor as the C2 Education Center in Torrance. Cole Allen, according to his LinkedIn profile, says he joined the tutoring company in 2020.
Come across him on the hallway, wouldn't look at you, he wouldn't interact, he'd come out and sit here and have lunch, and that's about it.
But he did allegedly have contact with Cecilia's 11-year-old daughter. She says the 31-year-old was one of her daughter's tutors at the Torrance location.
Showed him the picture and I said, hey, do you recognize them? And she's like, yeah, but I didn't bring anything else up.
According to the website, C2 Education provides tutoring, test prep, and college counseling. It also named Allen on its social media accounts as Teacher of the Month in December 2024.
Obviously, her safety is my priority, and while she was here, I did feel like she was safe.
Monday afternoon, the Torrance C2 location is normally up and running. This Monday was different. In a statement to Fox 11, C2 Education said, quote, "We were shocked to hear the news of the horrifying incident that transpired at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. We are cooperating fully with law enforcement to assist them in their investigation. Violence of any kind is never the answer." Cecilia says her daughter never expressed concern or anything out of the ordinary.
You just never know who you're around, and you see them and they're quiet, but it was kind of shocking to learn.
In Torrance, Rachel Aragon, Fox 11 News.
A massive fire destroys a Pico Union home and damages nearby buildings. Tonight, neighbors say squatters may have been inside, raising questions about what sparked it.
Fox 11's Gina Silva is live in Pico Union with more on this story. Gina.
That's right. Residents in this neighborhood woke up to a wall of fire, and they tell me that that vacant building, which is no longer there because it was demolished, has been a problem for a very long time.
A vacant 2-story home in the Pico Union neighborhood of LA, fully engulfed. Flames jumping to the complex next door.
The lady was hanging right there, holding on to the thing right there.
That's when Gregory Washington walks over to help.
I said, jump, jump, your house is on fire, hurry, hurry.
The dramatic scene captured on citizen video. Gregory on the ground, ready to catch his neighbor.
That lady right there was hanging right there. The other lady was holding her by the arm so she wouldn't fall down.
That lady is Teresa. She asked us not to show her face.
We were going to try to make an exit out, and it's no way. Like, you could see the flames hitting the doorway. So we were waiting for the fire department, and like all we could come up with was to like try to get out a window on the second floor.
Window.
Yeah, the corner window that's away from the fire.
After her roommate's boyfriend jumped, Teresa froze.
I was supposed to go next and jump out the window, but I couldn't do it because I was too scared. So I kind of was holding on there for a second, and then the fire department ended up pulling up and providing a ladder, so I was able to get down from the ladder, and so was his girlfriend.
Neighbors say this isn't the first fire at 1230 South Bonnie Bray Street, or even the second fire.
Yeah, people don't set it on fire 3 times already. 3 times already.
A lot of homeless people have come onto the property, even our property. I'll be home, I'm coming home from work. Times I come home from work around like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and there's people in the front porch, or there's people in the driveway.
Who's to blame?
I put that on the city.
Neighbors say they warned the city again and again, but nobody listened.
My bed's gone, a few personal items are gone, everything in my room, like anything plastic has melted.
Teresa is thankful to be alive and grateful everyone made it out. As for Gregory Washington, he's not looking for any praise.
This is my 3rd time helping people. 7 years. I did a little girl. She was in the middle of the streets walking. Walked out the house, nobody knew she was gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gregory, you're a hero.
No, I'm just a normal neighbor.
I wish you were my neighbor.
Yeah, I'm just a neighbor, you know.
He's such a nice guy and definitely a good neighbor who alerts people when there's something going on, something wrong. Now, the cause of the fire is under investigation. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
So, Gina, the home where the girl was saying stuff was burned, is that livable? Can they go in the home?
No, they've lost their home. If you can see behind me, it's actually too dark to see now, but severe damage at that property as well. So they're they had to find another location. She was going to stay with a friend. And I did ask her if she was going to set up a GoFundMe account. She said, no, I'm not going to do that. But if people want to help out, they should help the Red Cross because they have been very helpful to her and to the other tenants.
That's good to know. We talk about as many as 4 people injured, including a firefighter. If you could just speak to how very dangerous the whole situation was.
Well, I mean, if you saw the video at the beginning of our story, that was a wall of flames there, and it was just raging out of control. It really is amazing that it didn't take out the entire building next door. Obviously, it's caused a lot of damage, but yes, I mean, it could have been much worse. Thank goodness that the people were able to get out, but as you heard, the door was they couldn't get out from the door because it was fully engulfed as well. So yeah. It was just a bad situation. Now, they're all upset because they said they have been complaining to the city for a very long time and nothing has ever been done. We did contact Eunices Hernandez, who represents this area, and we were told that she's going to push for better enforcement of vacant buildings in the area. And she also mentioned that she's going to look into the history of this particular location. So based on that statement, she wasn't aware that residents have contacted the city 3 times because it's the 3rd time this place caught on fire.
Like the girl who said she was too
We'll have her full statement on our website.
Yeah, the girl who was said too afraid to jump. I'm thinking that would be me, too afraid to jump.
Yeah.
All right, glad she's okay though. Thanks.
Yeah.
A brazen home invasion in Panorama City has the LAPD searching for the culprits tonight. Intruders break into a home, then threaten a father and his 2 daughters. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez reports.
Carla Mendez points at the door mailbox opening she believes was used to break into her Panorama City home last night while her husband and daughters were home. The family telling investigators they locked themselves in a room as the burglars threatened to kill them if they made noise. She says her 7-year-old daughter began to cry from shock as the burglars repeated their threat. They were going to kill the family, she says. 2 hood-wearing suspects got away before LAPD officers arrived. But suspected residential burglars were not so lucky in Burbank. Using a police dog, officers arrested 3 people allegedly breaking into a home off Scott Street this weekend. Investigators believe they may be involved in at least some of the recent home break-ins in the San Fernando Valley. A welcome break for Los Angeles police, which have added security in the valley, including mobile surveillance equipment in Studio City. The units use AI to do things like track erratic driving behavior that could be linked to crimes and reported to authorities. They're installed by a private security company already hired by homeowners in the area to do extra patrols. But back in Panorama City, residents say they can't afford private patrols. Warning dog signs are being added up the street. Carla says they're still in shock.
La impotencia de saber que uno que en su propia casa no está seguro. Que donde tú crees que es un lugar seguro.
What she's saying is that they feel helpless, thinking that they're not safe even in their own homes. Anyone with information has to call LAPD. In Panorama City, I'm Christina Gonzalez, Fox 11 News.
Still ahead at 8 o'clock, President Trump targets comedian Jimmy Kimmel once again. Why he wants him fired this time.
Plus, we are inching closer to the June 2nd primary. We're in studio with one of the candidates, hoping to unseat LA Mayor Karen Bass. Next.
Well, we are tracking the potential for some wet weather moving across the area, but also our wind conditions picking up at times across the region as well. I'll have those details and more coming up.
He's pitching a series of unconventional and in some cases ambitious ideas to tackle LA's biggest problems.
Tonight, Los Angeles mayoral candidate Andres Salivra is making his case to earn your vote in the June 2nd primary. He joins us live in studio tonight as Fox 11 continues to cover the races you decide. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you guys both for having me. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure to have you here. I was reading your bio. You have an interesting background and spent some time on the streets. You didn't have a silver spoon in your mouth. Tell us how you take that life story and apply it to how you run for office.
So it's no secret there are literally hundreds of thousands of people in our city that struggle every day. I'm one of those people who struggled here, right? And a lot of that is because we don't always provide people with the types of opportunities that they need to be able to have, things that, for instance, social services and other things. But luckily, I was able to, catch one of those safety nets. I was, brought into foster care for a little while. I was placed with a really great family. They helped my family got back on their feet through other social services that were put here. And I eventually went to, I was homeless for a little while as a teenager, living out of my car, but I was able to put myself through community college, another great resource that was made available to me, where I transferred to UCLA, got my degree in political science, and now I've worked my way hard to become one of the top systems engineers in my field.
So with that background of being an engineer, you want to apply that to some of LA's biggest problems, like homelessness. Talk about how that shaped your policy ideas.
Absolutely. So most of my entire platform right now revolves around getting LA prepared for the upcoming 2028 Olympics, right? The eyes of the world are going to be on our city. And there's a lot of people in our country who want to see us fall flat on our face, and they want to use that against us in the 2028 election when we're voting for president later. We can't let that happen. We need to step up, and that means we need real solutions, not bureaucratic policies, not corporate favoritism, but real solutions for Los Angeles, and that's where I come in. I'm a solutions engineer by trade, right? When big companies are having problems with the machine, they call me to fix it. My solutions for LA around homelessness are dormitory-style housing for the homeless, 200 to 500 people at a time, all throughout the city to address the 35,000 people sleeping on the streets. Public transit that actually works, getting LA moving through a van pool shuttle service. This system's used in Paris, France, Istanbul, Turkey, Mexico City. This is something we can build and deploy ahead of the Olympics. And the last one is community jobs, creating economic opportunity, $25 to $35 an hour for people who want to help us get our city ready for the 2028 Olympics.
These public dormitories, where do they go? Because we've encountered this, people don't want it in my neighborhood issues.
Yeah, so, you know, I'm very sympathetic to that, and I understand that. And one of the things that I'm proposing is that we build these dormitories, at least some large amount of them, in commercial and industrial spaces, right? There's a lot of manufacturing areas that are not being used anymore in LA. There's commercial offices that are vacant since people started working from home, right? These are in commercially zoned places, not next to schools, not next to neighborhoods. We can take these buildings, the city of Los Angeles can purchase the asset, retrofit it, and then provide 200 to 400 units at a time of dormitory-style housing while providing wraparound services with the cost savings. This means mental health treatment, addiction counseling, meal services, you know, medical transport, and then jobs training and placement, right? So that, because I believe that truly the only way that we're going to solve the homelessness problem is by treating people with people. That means we spend less money on the building, less money on the bed, and more money on the service workers, the people who are going to help our homeless.
Now, you come in as a relative unknown, so how do you go up against a machine of people who have slick campaigns? They're financially, they've got a big war chest. How do you fight that?
I'll tell you, we fight money with people. That's how we do it. We fight with people. My campaign, I think, excuse me, my voice is hoarse because I've been just campaigning so much over the last week. And I always say that's evidence that I've been doing my job, right? We got to fight money with people. My campaign's been mobilizing more volunteers. These are people working for free because they believe in my mission. They believe in the vision that we see for Los Angeles. I've mobilized more volunteers than any other mayoral campaign right now. You don't need money. All the ads, all the whatever in the world, that doesn't convert voters. People will scroll past the ad, they'll tune out to but one person, one volunteer who goes door to door, who says, hey, have you heard about Andre? Have you heard about his incredible ideas for LA? That's worth 100 ads.
We should note that we did a whole 20+ minutes with you earlier on the Fox local app, so perhaps that's contributing to the voice. But you got through that. You can check all that out as well. So Mayor Karen Bass wants a second term. Why do you want her job?
Look, I mean, it's clear not just to me, but also to the voters of Los Angeles that Mayor Bass has failed our city. And I can tell you this, I have personally shaken hands and talked to more than 50,000 Angelenos since I started campaigning in January. I am out there on this. I don't even have to bring up Karen Bass. And voters expressed to me their dissatisfaction with her, right? She had a job, she had an opportunity, she squandered it. That's my opinion. And truly, I think that there's more. We need more executives in our mayoral positions, right? We need people with experience building teams, building solutions, not with a legislative career politician background, but people who've actually worked at large organizations building solutions and helping empower people to be great at their job. And that's what I bring to the table.
All right, Andre Saliver, we thank you so much for your thoughts tonight. Take good care of that throat.
Definitely will. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you.
Well, we have other candidates that we've been profiling as well. If you would like to have that information, just head to foxla.com or download our free Fox local app.
Coming up, it is National Poetry Month. Tonight we're taking you inside a special local poetry library home to over 10,000 books. An interview next.
Weather is sponsored by My Home Sold.
Well, everybody's wondering when we're going to get that little bit of rain that's been predicted as we look out on a beautiful Southland night. Star Harvey standing by, our meteorologist, to tell us, do we even need an umbrella this week?
You know, that's pretty hard to say, Laura, mostly because it depends on if you can handle the drizzle or a drop or two of that rain. So I'll leave that to our viewers. But I can tell you we do have a shot at some wet weather. It is expected to arrive for us during the middle of the week, but we are not talking much in terms of measurable rain. Nothing torrential. Again, at best, we are talking maybe a spot shower or two pushing in and across the area late Wednesday. And maybe there's a possibility that some of that may also flow over into our Thursday as well. As of right now, we are under a dry conditions along the San Luis Obispo and Santa Barbara County area. Across the LA and Ventura County region as well, we are also on the dry side. So some good conditions out there under mostly clear skies right now. Temperatures at 60 degrees in Santa Monica. We do have a nice southwest wind moving in those single digits at about 8 miles per hour. Out in the downtown LA area, temperatures also in the low 60s. And yes, we also have a nice little calm wind out there. Here's a look at our temperatures across the area. We're at 63 degrees in Glendora. Over in Ontario, we're at 60, taking you up into portions of the San Fernando Valley. 57 degrees, and Santa Monica, we just saw down in Manhattan Beach, similar temperatures in the 60s as well. Here's a look at our sustained winds, moving at about 5 to close to 15 miles per hour across the area. When we look at our gusts, we do have some of those gusts kicking up across not just our high deserts, but also our low deserts as well. And near the Victorville area, those winds, or excuse me, gusts kicking up at about 16 miles per hour. As we shift gears into tonight, it is going to be a chilly one, especially across the LA and surrounding area. We are expecting that our temperatures will be dipping down not just into some of the 40s, but also we're likely to have some of those lower 50s. It'll be one of those nights where we are going to be below our normal, and you'll see those 20-degree temperatures up the I-5 corridor, but also the 20-degree temperatures in our mountains for tonight. And then as we arrive at tomorrow, we are expecting to make a nice rebound. We'll start off with some of that cloud cover, but by the time we get to the, I'd say late morning, early afternoon, we'll have plenty of sunshine in place, and that is going to land our temperatures in the 70s in some of our inland sections, and our coastline looking at temperatures in the upper 60s. I'll be back with a look at the shot of the rain that we're expecting to see by midweek. For now, back to you.
Still had part of Angel Stadium shut down over immediate health concerns.
The concerning discovery coming up next.
across SoCal. This is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
President Trump is again calling for Jimmy Kimmel to be fired.
That's after the late-night host made a comment about Melania Trump. Let's go live to Ed Laskos in Hollywood with reaction there tonight. Ed?
And Laura, Jimmy Kimmel, the late-night talk show host, is once again at the center of a controversy and those growing demands from the White House and even from the First Lady this time that he be fired by ABC following all of this. And it's really the fallout from the assassination attempt over the weekend. Let's get to it. To the video we go, talking about the Jimmy Kimmel live taping. It's over at the El Capitan Theater in the heart of Hollywood. Very busy there tonight. The folks, the fans who had tickets online, they were able to go in and see the show, the taping of the show. And as all of that was happening, on the other side was the growing controversy. The First Lady, Melania Trump, out blasting Kimmel on social media, calling the joke he did last Thursday harmful, violent, hateful. Then a short time later, President Trump joining the chorus, slamming Kimmel on social media, saying Kimmel's call to violence, it's despicable, should be fired immediately. All of this following that joke that hit last Thursday, and it was a few days obviously before the assassination attempt, but Kimmel took aim with the joke at the First Lady. Let's start it off with the controversial joke itself.
Our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
It's all fun and games until somebody gets hurt, and if him or anybody is intentionally trying to hurt somebody or jokes around that can cause someone's life or someone to lose their life, like, I don't agree with that. That's not good. And I mean, a lot of people look at that show, so if him being a host, he should really be more careful what he says.
If you want to silence Jimmy Kimmel, there's a lot of voices that also need to be silenced on other media that is leaning on the other side, and they say things that are much worse. And so, no, I don't at all have sympathy for anyone who thinks that he stepped over the line.
Now live reaction from some of the fans outside the theater where they were taping the Jimmy Kimmel live late-night talk show tonight. And all of this follows as many folks have been telling us that Kimmel no stranger to controversy. Remember, ladies, 7 months ago, Kimmel actually suspended with the entire production for a few days by ABC after a controversial comment joke he made back then. At that point, he was dealing with the shooting, the murder of Charlie Kirk, brought a lot of controversy. He was suspended. He eventually comes back, and in his opening monologue after that suspension, in a tearful way, Kimmel says he never meant it to be taken that way. Now you have this latest controversy. No comment yet from ABC, but will be interesting. Certainly see where this goes following the history with Kimmel, the White House, and a lot of these contentious jokes.
Well, you know, Ed, comics have always pushed the edge, the boundaries, right? They do that and have done that throughout history. From the people you talked to today, do they think this is a defining moment, or do they think it'll pass?
I don't think they had a moment or a thought either way on that, Laura. They were really saying that, you know, when you have that kind of a pulpit, as one of the fans told me, you know, and you have a national audience like that you got to be careful what you say because people may take it the wrong way. So you got to weigh your words carefully. Another fan didn't want to go on camera, but he was saying, you know, you've got to stay relevant in this business, show business, and that's why Kimmel may be pushing the edge, as many folks do, many comedians do. But at what point, someone else said, at what point is enough? And I think that's where all of this comes in.
Perhaps you said this and I missed it, but did Jimmy Kimmel address this tonight, or you think he'll address it during the week?
I have no idea. We're waiting to get an advanced copy of that taping of the show that they put out to the network, so we're waiting to see if he might have said anything in the monologue. But also, many people in the industry waiting to see if ABC takes any action. Remember, it took a couple days after the controversy hit several months ago about that Charlie Kirk incident joke, so we're interested to see if the fallout continues and if ABC does take any action.
Important to note, too, the timing of it, right? Because he made that comment, I believe, on Thursday night. And then, of course, we had the dinner over the weekend, and there was an attempt made on the president and his cabinet and his wife. So, you know, then all of a sudden you go, oh, that was really tough, right? But that's 2 or 3 days before. And, you know, people are on edge.
Yeah, very much so, and that was the point that Melania Trump, the First Lady, was making in her social media criticism of Kimmel, saying, you know, this kind of rhetoric really adds to the divisive nature in our country right now, and it's very harmful. It's not doing anybody any good. She also was interesting that she called him a coward in one of her social media posts, saying that, you know, he's a coward, Kimmel, because, in her words, that he hides behind ABC, knowing that he can say pretty much what he wants, and ABC will have his back. So again, with that kind of pressure coming from the very top of the White House, see how all this plays out.
All right, thank you so much. New tonight, a section of Angel Stadium's view-level concessions has been shut down after health inspectors discovered rodent droppings during a routine inspection. The Orange County Health Care Agency says the area was declared an imminent health hazard, forcing an immediate closure. The space will remain closed until cleanup is completed and passes re-inspection.
Developing news from the push for a billionaire tax in California. Backers say that they have collected enough signatures to get it on the November ballot and let the voters decide. More than 1.5 million Californians signed the petition. They only needed 875,000 signatures. The measure calls for a one-time 5% wealth tax. It would apply to the assets of individuals who have net worths of $1 billion or more at the end of this year. County election officials must still verify the signatures and send them to California's Secretary of State before it can appear on the ballot. Southern California's hiking season is back, but so is a venomous hidden danger. Experts warn that rattlesnake season is officially in full swing. Now, according to the California Post, here are 5 local hotspots where you're most likely to encounter a rattler. Malibu Creek State Park, which is a prime habitat for the southern Pacific rattlesnake. Joshua Tree is home to 7 species that blend in perfectly with the desert terrain. Also, be careful in the San Bernardino National Forest. There's also Chino Hills State Park, which is home to both the Southern Pacific and red diamond snakes. 3 people in California have died of snake bites this year.
And we are sharing the story of LA's only dedicated poetry library, home to over 10,000 books. It's in Hyde Park, South LA. Also a place where people can learn and share their own poetry. Joining us now is Hiram Sims, poet, educator, author, South LA born and raised. You want to say hi to Mom real quick?
Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. Hi, Pops. Uncle David. Good to see you all.
Let's just give out your official titles. Executive Director and founder of Community Literature Initiative and the Sims Library of Poetry. Last name is Sims. Talk about National Poetry Month and what that means to you.
Yeah, National Poetry Month was created in 1996 by the Academy of American Poets, and it's a month where we celebrate the great poetry that's being written by people in this country. And I think in LA, it's a great time to highlight all the incredible poets in our city and the incredible poetry spaces in LA.
Speaking of yours, the Sims Library of Poetry, what is that?
It's the largest library of poetry in the state of California. We got 10,000 books of poetry there. We have book releases, lectures, and all kinds of open mics and different poetry events happening there every day.
So we should note you are a USC grad, also an educator, and an author. You have one of your own books?
Yes, this book is called Poems in Praise of Libraries, and this is a collection of poems written by LA poets to celebrate libraries in LA and also the Sims Library of Poetry.
Can you give me a paragraph of yours? Can you read a little for me?
Sure. This poem is called Rest in Pages, written to highlight a desire that every LA poet has. When I die, bury me on a bookshelf. Lay me to rest with the best poets to ever grace a library. When you pray over me, offer no apologies. Just crack open one of my anthologies and say, I remember something he said on page 36 or 63, because he said it to me. When I die, sprinkle these ashes in a card catalog, because the only thing I want on my spine are Dewey Decimals, since I found my heaven with the 811s. At the repast, do the electric slide all over my table of contents. Eat fried chicken and potato salad all over my copyright page. Flip through old photos and old prefaces. Debate unanswerable questions like, does heaven have a library? Does the afterlife have open mics? Months after the funeral, when you see me on the shelf looking cute in my 3-piece suit, check me out. Get a library card, man. Check me out. Call me the selected works, maybe the collected works. When I die, say that brother has so much LA style. And when you quote me, do it LA style. When I die, bury me on a bookshelf so I can gather dust in the library and finally be laid to rest.
Oh, I love that. No,
that's the last poem in the book.
I'm a daughter of teachers.
Okay.
I lived in the library,
Okay.
So you have helped others learn to write poetry and speak their poetry. What is the Community Literature Initiative?
Yeah, the Community Literature Initiative is a group of publishing classes that help writers of color to finish and publish books. And so that program started 13 years ago. And we have chapters all over Southern California and some chapters in different parts of the country. And over these last 13 years, we've been able to help about 450 poets to publish books.
Amazing. Well, of course, Amanda Gorman, we remember her when she spoke in Washington, really put poetry on the map again nationwide. So we remember this visual right here and how she graced us with such poetry. You've got an event coming up also to help raise awareness and raise funds for your library, because in honor of National Poetry Month, you have a rent party this Thursday at the Sims Library of Poetry on Florence Avenue
at 7 p.m. and there's going to be some incredible LA poets coming there to perform their work. And you know, poets have to pay rent too. We have to pay rent at the library, so we're just raising support so that we can continue to do this work. And so many people in LA have supported the library for the last 4 or 5 years, and so we're hoping that that work continues.
All right, you can check out their website, of course, for more information. Thank you so much, Hiram Sims. Really interesting. Makes me want to go back and write something now.
All right, all right. We hope to see you there.
Thanks for being here.
All right.
Laura.
Bravo. Exquisite, really. Coming up right here, we're checking in with meteorologist Star Harvey.
That's right. We are tracking the potential not just for some gusty conditions moving across Southern California, but we'll also be talking at some pattern with wet weather shifting this way. I'll have those details and more coming up.
You may recognize him from social media, bringing a familiar green character to life or making people laugh online.
If you don't know him, you need to know him. Fox 11 star Harvey joins us live now to show us the man behind the screen.
That's absolutely right, ladies. He's definitely kept me laughing. That is Nick Darnell, and there's more to his story than his viral moments, and a deeper purpose behind the work rooted in his identity and the impacts he hopes to make. Here's a look.
If you've spent any time scrolling, chances are you've seen him. Bringing the Grinch to life or dropping a "What's poppin', twin?"
What's poppin', twin?
But who's the man behind the big green suit?
I know my birthright is to be an entertainer, a performer. Like, I know that's something that God created me to be.
It's party time!
I'll be growing up and it'll be a really sad moment that we just lost like a family member or a celebrity, and my family would kind of look to me or like wait, and naturally they didn't even have to look at me. I would find moments to make people smile again.
For Nick Darnell, making people laugh isn't just a skill, it's who he's always been.
How can I make this better for everyone?
And even in life's hardest moments, he found purpose in lifting others up. That purpose was built early.
My parents were so positive and like supportive of everything I did. So from doing theater to doing like goofy impressions at home.
I guess I could use a little social interaction.
I grew up in a church. Like, it was just like a no-brainer to go to church 4 times a week, like growing up in the South. That's all I needed. It was like, all right, if my people support me, if they back me, if I have like my faith, then I can do anything.
And grounded in something deeper.
I will not continue any part of my day without talking to God first, praying to Christ. I am nothing without like God's plan for me.
Long before the cameras, there was a stage.
At my school, there was different auditions, like you could present like a piece or like do like a performance from a poet. And I'll go to my mom, like, Mom, I want to do this. And she gave me like some options. She was like, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this. And it was like one particular one called Landlord by Langston Hughes. And yeah, I went on stage, did the monologue, Landlord, Landlord. And when I got up there, I was like, man, I wasn't nervous. I was nervous before, but as soon as I started performing, it just felt like right, it just felt natural.
That moment sparked something.
Musical theater was the perfect way to help me tap into that ability of what I want on camera. So my dream is always like movie musicals. So to do it on stage live and have that instant gratification from the audience, I was like, oh, I can do this.
Inspired by what he saw on screen.
High School Musical 2, when I saw like young Zac Efron, Corbin Bleu, I was like, man, I want to do that. Seeing In the Heights, seeing that like cultural representation and how that community just championed each other, black and brown united, that's when I really was like, oh, I can do this on an even bigger scale.
Do you know someone under sugar spell?
It shows up in everything, from how he presents himself.
I wanted to eliminate the immediate negative connotation that comes with just being a black male and just help other young black guys and girls constantly be creative and be looked at as not a threat to society and just simply like a creative being.
To the roles that he chooses.
I love bright colors. I love to show off just vibrant colors to even just help my image in public and my content. Like, I try to keep it as clean as possible. We don't always have to do a certain stereotypical role.
And what is this? But the real impact goes far beyond the screen.
A treat I've been dreaming of?
I've had so many people reach out to me and tell me like they were depressed over the holidays or they lost loved ones, and my videos online really helped them.
For Nick, this isn't just content. It's connection. It's healing.
So I do have like numerous takes.
All right, bet.
Take 20 times just because I want it perfect.
Action.
And behind the confidence is pressure he puts on himself.
I need to be one of the greatest simply because of the impact that I want.
Because for him, this is bigger than just getting it right.
I've been told everything under the sun of how I want to get to where I want to be. And that's constantly just gonna make me want it more. I'm the biggest dreamer.
Just move out of your mom's place. Man, you don't understand what type of relationship me and my mom have.
You have to move out.
What? I literally
have no money, and I'm an unpaid intern. Hey, yo. Smoking.
Just amazingly talented.
Yes, yes. You know, Nick, there's so many faces and just facets to Nick. And so to be able to really sit down with him and get to see who he is off screen, even more incredible than what we actually do get to see from his social media presence. So,
And
amazing.
Imagine him and your family like he was talking about. Entertain us.
Yeah, it's
cool.
Real true stories, true stories. So, yeah.
How about the weather for the week?
Well, you know, it's cold out there. It's going to be another cold night. You know, us here in LA, we get cold fast. So grab your coats, grab your jackets, especially if you have those late night plans for what's left of this evening or rolling over into tomorrow morning. I can tell you it's still going to be quite chilly out there. We will get a warm up pushing later into the week, but we are also tracking a chance for some gusty conditions and the likelihood of seeing maybe a spot shower or two move in late in the day on Wednesday and possibly into our Thursday as well. Let's talk about today because those temperatures very similar to how we were moving off of the weekend. 69 degrees for the downtown LA area. This does put us below our normal of 73, and you definitely felt like that if you were out the doors at all for your Monday. So we will continue to have those pleasant temperatures on hand, and then as we do continue to move through this week, we are expecting again for those temperatures to get closer to where they are typically at around this time of the year. We are going to finish out this week on the warmer side. So for all of us that do not enjoy these cooler temperatures, wait until the end of the weekend. You'll have something in store for you as well. We're also looking at a couple of showers arriving for us again by the middle of the week, late night Wednesday, and maybe a chance of that lingering over into our Thursday as well. I'm going to put that into play here for you on our Futurecast. Again, it's a simulation of our satellite and radar. So what you'll see is moving into tomorrow morning, we do have that cloud cover. This is the 7 a.m. hour, so that early morning commute, if that's you, that's what you'll be looking forward to. By lunchtime, we do show that cloud cover dissipating, sunshine out there. It is going to be another beautiful day, dry conditions out there. We arrive at Wednesday. The cloud cover not as thick as what we'll potentially see tomorrow to start the day, but during the second half of Wednesday, when we are tracking that moisture to build in, you'll see the clouds increasing, but also take a look at that spot chance for shower moving in. You'll see it is not widespread by any measure there. And then moving over into our Thursday, we do have a chance for some of that moisture lingering around. We're not talking much in terms of accumulation. Now, winds moving over into tomorrow morning, they're expected to be on the quieter side, but those gusts could potentially pick up across some of not just our high deserts, low deserts, across some of our mountain areas as well during the second half of tomorrow. By Wednesday morning, those winds and gusts lightening back up, but then by the time we move into the second half of Wednesday, the windy conditions may also be right back in place for some of those similar regions. As far as what's happening out there right now, we got 53 in Pasadena, 60 in Whittier, as well as Ontario over in Porter Ranch, 55 degrees, and down in Manhattan Beach coming in at 60. Our gusts right now primarily over the Antelope Valley. We'll see some of those also down towards the Palm Springs area where those winds are gusting, I'd say sustained at about 5 to 15 miles per hour, but we do have some gusts up to 15 to 20 miles per hour moving it across the area, still below that threshold. Our temps tonight dropping down low. It's going to be a cool one, 40s and 50s on the map, but that nice rebound moving into tomorrow, going back at near our normal of 74 degrees. But then by the end of this week, look at those numbers shooting up to the upper 70s and low 80s. So a beautiful weekend ahead of us. Back to you.
All right, we still have more news ahead at 8.
But first, here's a preview of what's coming up at 9. A new report out tonight talks about how much unhealthy air Americans are breathing in every day, and the stats are staggering. Plus, this iconic sign that used to be at the old Hollywood Arby's made an appearance this weekend at a place that had nothing to do with food. We'll explain straight ahead at 9 o'clock.
honor your past,
So you wanna be starting some.
and embrace the future. That's what people want.
The new Michael biopic, Michael Jackson, moonwalks its way to the top of the weekend box office. The film raked in $97 million in its weekend debut, shattering a record for music biopics. The movie, which stars the late King of Pop's nephew, Jafar Jackson, overcame poor reviews, surpassing its expected opening by nearly $50 million. Meanwhile, animated hit The Super Mario Galaxy movie took second place with $21.2 million.
And I know you know all about this.
I did a
so
deep
what
dive
made it so
this
special?
weekend. I saw it twice. The music. If you love the music from childhood to right at the time he went solo, you will feel like you're at a concert. And the way his nephew transformed, wait till the end of the scene.
And he started so young that impacts a bunch of generations. So a lot of people are going to beat a path to go there.
Live across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
Now at 9, assassination attempt. A Torrance man in court today after authorities say he opened fire on the Secret Service in Washington, D.C. Plus, Panorama City terror, a family threatened with death in their own home as the LAPD hunts for brazen burglars. And we're live from the coast to the Inland Valley's meteorologist Star Harvey with a preview of what's on the horizon.
Well, Laura, we are tracking a warm-up by the time we get to the end of the week, but during the middle of the week, we may have a shot at some wet weather. I'll have all of those details and more coming up.
Sounds good. You are watching LA Live News Tonight. I'm Laura Diaz, in for Marla Tejas. A quiet Torrance neighborhood is under the global microscope tonight. Caltech grad Cole Thomas Allen faced a federal judge today charged with the attempted assassination of President Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf is live in the South Bay with the very latest tonight. Matthew?
Well, Laura, it's been quiet at the suspect's home really for the last 36 hours or so. We haven't seen any movement from inside or federal agents here, but we are beginning to learn more about the suspect. A quiet Torrance neighborhood now the center of a federal investigation, where for 2 days media from across the world and curious neighbors have swarmed.
Came by to sort of get a look at the neighborhood and see a little bit of history, I suppose.
Prosecutors say 31-year-old Cole Allen of Torrance stormed the White House Correspondents' Dinner Saturday, opening fire with a shotgun. Within hours, we tracked him to this home where he'd been reportedly living with his parents. No answer. Investigators say just minutes before the attack, Allen sent loved ones a manifesto claiming it was his duty to target members of the Trump administration.
That act, that horrible act, was stopped because of the courage and professionalism of law enforcement.
In 2013, Allen graduated from Pacific Lutheran Private High School in Gardena, where he played volleyball. More recently, he worked as a tutor in Torrance, even named Teacher of the Month.
Come across him on the hallway, wouldn't look at you, he wouldn't interact. He'd come out and sit here and have lunch, and that's about it.
A staff member in the same building whose daughter also attends the center says this news is shocking.
Obviously, her safety is my priority, and while she was here, I did feel like she was safe.
Neighbors still driving by and snapping photos as Allen appeared in court Monday, charged with trying to assassinate President Donald Trump.
Well, surprising that we end up getting somebody here with extreme views like that, but they're everywhere, I suppose.
I think neighbors in the area are getting frustrated by all the attention. Even tonight, we're seeing a steady flow of people coming by here in their cars, driving slow, snapping pictures at us, snapping pictures at the house. Reporting live tonight in Torrance, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Matthew, I know, of course, that you've been there since the weekend, but the whole story seems like a bit of a head-scratcher, right? I mean, this young man had advanced degrees, by all accounts had never had a problem in the past, and then suddenly these allegations, which are so very serious, an attempt of assassination on the president. What do you hear from people there? Can they fill in any of the blanks?
Yeah, I mean, I think people are really just shocked. I mean, you mentioned it. He's got these advanced degrees. His former professor described him as brilliant. It seems like everyone that knows him basically says that this happened out of nowhere. Now, 2 nights ago when we were first here, I spoke with a neighbor. He described, I guess he would say, an unusual interaction. It was over a cable in their backyard that they share. But beyond that, really nothing that caught anyone off guard. No one predicted this.
And I know you were there Saturday when it appeared that perhaps the parents were in the entry there and they didn't want to allow authorities in. Have they come out and made any kind of statement? Any family members, have they come out and made some sort of statement in defense of their loved one?
No, and maybe Mike can show you. I'll step out of the way, but this is a look at the house. It's been extremely quiet. You might notice that the windows, even in the garage, are covered with what looks like some sort of foil. We haven't really seen any lights on. Really, the only activity has been neighbors coming by, driving by to check it out, and all the media that's been out here.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for that live report. I know that you've been diligent on the story. Thank you. The makers of Fortnite are starting to refund players who purchased items in its collaboration with the singer known as David. The singer, whose given name is David Burke, worked with Epic Games to create special add-ons for the game. Burke was charged with murder last week in the death of 14-year-old Celeste Hernandez. Epic Games said that anyone who purchased items connected with the singer can get an immediate refund. And happening this week, Nick Reiner is heading back to court on Wednesday for a preliminary hearing on the murder of his parents. He's accused of killing his father, legendary director Rob Reiner, and his wife Michelle in their Brentwood home. The hearing will determine whether the prosecution has enough evidence to bring Nick Reiner to trial. And here's a live look outside. Looking nice on this evening. Meteorologist Star Harvey stepping in to talk about a cold night on tap. Star?
Yeah, it is pretty cool out there, Laura. We're expecting our lows tonight to be some of the coolest that we have experienced in weeks, or several weeks across the LA County area, as well as the Ventura County. Now, tonight, we will be under those mostly clear skies, and we'll continue that way at least until we roll into the start of tomorrow, where we will notice an influx of clouds moving about the area. 59 degrees right now in the Santa Monica area. Winds on the calmer side, checking in across downtown LA. Temperatures at 60 degrees, and we also have a nice southwest wind pushing across the area right now. 56 degrees right now in Diamond Bar. San Bernardino coming in at 59. Over in Manhattan Beach, 60 degrees. And Thousand Oaks coming in at 55. Sustained winds, not an issue right now. 5 to about 15 miles per hour across the area. We do have some gusts continuing to burst out, just little energies there across our high deserts, but also our low deserts. Palm Springs at about 23 miles per hour right now. Here are the cooler conditions expected to settle in for tonight. Our lows, we'll have some of those 40s on the map, a lot more 50s into our inland sections, but also a couple of 20s up in the Fraser Park area, 29 degrees. And of course, we'll have those sub-freezing temperatures in our mountains as well. Now I'll be back with a look at the wet weather headed this way. For now, Laura, back to you.
Thank you, Star. Sky Fox over the scene of a burglary in Alhambra this morning. You can see the heavy police presence there. The Alhambra Police Department says its officers responded to an early morning burglary on Date Avenue just north of the 10 freeway. Officers went door to door and even used police dog as they searched for the suspect. Nobody was found. A brazen home invasion in Panorama City has the LAPD searching for the culprits. Intruders break into a home, then threaten a father and his two daughters. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez reports.
Carla Mendez points at the door mailbox opening she believes was used to break into her Panorama City home last night while her husband and daughters were home. The family telling investigators they locked themselves in a room as the burglars threatened to kill them if they made noise. She says her 7-year-old daughter began to cry from shock as the burglars repeated their threat. They were going to kill the family, she says. 2 hood-wearing suspects got away before LAPD officers arrived. But suspected residential burglars were not so lucky in Burbank. Using a police dog, officers arrested 3 people allegedly breaking into a home off Scott Street this weekend. Investigators believe they may be involved in at least some of the recent home break-ins in the San Fernando Valley. A welcome break for Los Angeles police, which have added security in the valley, including mobile surveillance equipment in Studio City. The units use AI to do things like track erratic driving behavior that could be linked to crimes and reported to authorities. They're installed by a private security company already hired by homeowners in the area to do extra patrols. But back in Panorama City, residents say they can't afford private patrols. Warning dog signs are being added up the street. But Carla says they're still in shock. La impotencia de saber que uno que en su propia casa no está seguro. What she's saying is that they feel helpless, thinking that they're not safe even in their own homes. Anyone with information has to call LAPD. In Panorama City, I'm Christina Gonzalez, Fox 11 News.
Tonight, a Covina community is showing support for 2 local restaurants burglarized last week. Sabor a Peru and Mauricio's Mexican Food and Pizza Cantina were both hit, with Sabor a Peru targeted for the 2nd time this month. Now, thieves even took family heirlooms. Despite the setbacks, the owners are grateful for the community's continued support. Oil over wind. Ahead tonight, the Trump administration pays nearly millions to scrap offshore clean energy projects. And Pico Union inferno. A massive blaze destroys a home as neighbors point to squatters as the likely cause. Plus, Outlander farewell, get ready for the series finale, and a chance to see the cast live at the Dolby Theater. A massive fire destroys a Pico Union home and damages nearby buildings. Now neighbors say squatters may have been inside, raising questions about what sparked it. Fox 11's Gina Silva is in Pico Union with the story.
This neighborhood woke up to a wall of fire, and residents say the vacant building behind me, which is now gone, has been a problem for a very long time. A vacant two-story home in the Pico Union neighborhood of LA, fully engulfed. Flames jumping to the complex next door.
The lady was hanging right there, holding on to the thing right there.
That's when Gregory Washington walks over to help.
I said, jump, jump, your house is on fire, hurry, hurry.
The dramatic scene captured on citizen video. Gregory on the ground, ready to catch his neighbor.
That lady right there was hanging right there. The other lady was holding her by the arm so she wouldn't fall down.
That lady is Teresa. She asked us not to show her face.
We were going to try to make an exit out, and it's no way. Like, you could see the flames hitting the doorway. So we were waiting for the fire department, and like all we could come up with was to like try to get out a window on the second floor.
That window.
Yeah, the corner window that's away from the fire.
After her roommate's boyfriend jumped, Teresa froze.
I was supposed to go next and jump out the window, but I couldn't do it because I was too scared. So I kind of was holding on there for a second, and then the fire department ended up pulling up and providing a ladder, so I was able to get down from the ladder, and so was his girlfriend.
Neighbors say this isn't the first fire at 1230 South Bonnie Bray Street, or even the second fire.
Yeah, people don't set it on fire 3 times already. 3 times already.
A lot of homeless people have come onto the property, even our property. I'll be home, I'm coming home from work. Times I come home from work around like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and there's people in the front porch, or there's people in the driveway.
Who's to blame?
I put that on the city.
Neighbors say they warned the city again and again, but nobody listened.
My bed's gone, a few personal items are gone, everything in my room, like anything plastic has melted.
Teresa is thankful to be alive and grateful everyone made it out. As for Gregory Washington, he's not looking for any praise.
This is my third time helping people. 7 years. I did a little girl. She was in the middle of the streets walking. Walked out the house, nobody knew she was gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gregory, you're a hero.
No, I'm just a normal neighbor.
I wish you were my neighbor.
Yeah, I'm just a neighbor, you know.
A very nice guy. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Reporting from Pico Union, I'm Gina Silva, Fox 11 News.
Where are my Outlander fans? The 8th and final season of the Starz show is airing right now. The series finale drops on May 15th. And if you're not familiar, the show is a romantic thriller drama about time travel. It premiered back in 2014, and the show has a cult following. And I've got some exciting news for those fans. The latest Paley live event is going to be the Outlander cast. This is happening on Wednesday, May 13th at the Dolby Theater. The event will include a screening of the very first episode from 12 years ago, followed by a conversation with the show's stars, including, I hope I get this right, Kaitrona Balfe and Sam Hoogan. If you are a Paley member, you can buy tickets right now. Everyone else, tickets go on sale May 1st at paleycenter.org.
Weather is sponsored by American Career College.
And we're taking a live look right there of Santa Monica as we check in with Star Harvey one more time on the weather.
Yeah, that's right, Laura. We do have some mostly clear skies out there at the Santa Monica area. You can also see our camera. It's not shifting as much as it was a little bit earlier, so calmer winds across the area, but also it is expected to continue to chill off as we make our way through the remainder of our evening. So yeah, tonight's going to be one of those nights. If you aren't going to be out there later or possibly early tomorrow morning, grab your coat or a sweater. You'll definitely need it. We are under dry conditions here across most of the West Coast, Southern California to be exact there. But you'll see across the opposite side of the nation here, different story unfolding. We do have not just some wet weather. We are talking some pretty powerful storms embedded across portions of the Midwest, but also heading into the Mid-Atlantic. Again, so if you have family out there, just doing your part to check in on them. We will have a series of disturbances moving across the West Coast, getting into the middle of this week. You'll see our low going ahead and sliding into our region as we make our way into Wednesday. So you'll see with this system, not much precipitation attached to it, but there is going to be some moisture. So late in the day on Wednesday and moving into the early parts of Thursday, we are potentially going to see some of that wet weather. The system pretty fast moving, so we are expecting it to move off to the east rather fast. As far as tonight goes, you'll see those mostly clear skies out there through the evening as we roll into tomorrow morning. Clouds building right back up. So that 6, 7, 8 a.m. hour, we'll have some of those clouds in place, but sunshine will make its way through by the time we get to the back half of the morning and into the afternoon. By Wednesday, we're starting off with some beautiful skies. We will have those clouds building in, increasing as we push into the second half of the day. This is also a chance where we will see, again, that spot chance of activity for the rain, but went ahead and checked the amounts. You'll see a lot more of that wet weather going on across portions of the southeast here. But as we take a look at the West Coast, not much precipitation across Southern California. In fact, as our system is pushing through late Wednesday into Thursday, we are not looking at much in terms of measurable accumulation with our rainfall. As far as our winds, they'll be picking back up, moving into the second half of tomorrow as well. And at times, we could see those winds gusting anywhere from 20 to 25 miles per hour, according to our model here. This is across some of our mountains, but also our desert areas as well. Wednesday, winds starting off a little bit calmer, but as we make our way into the second half of Wednesday, we are also looking at our gusts potentially picking right back up. Our temperatures getting through the half of our week. The first half, we are going to see them closer to their averages. We're talking low 70s for the LA Inland Orange County area. But as we make our way into Friday, but also this weekend, the first half of the weekend, we are going to have some of those really good feeling temperatures jumping into the upper 70s, low 80s for the LA area. And along the coast, temperatures will be in the 60s. So again, slightly cooler as we make our way through the middle of the week. But by the time we arrive at this weekend, we are going to see those temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Back to you.
A hot air balloon hits a casino and a power line during a wild, unplanned launch in Northern California. The details coming up. The Trump administration is paying $885 million to two energy companies to abandon offshore wind projects, including one off California's Morro Bay. Now, according to the LA Times, the companies will instead invest in oil, gas, and liquefied natural gas projects. Critics argue this move undermines clean energy progress, while supporters claim it prioritizes reliable energy infrastructure. A hot air balloon ride turns into a scare in Elk Grove in Sacramento County after it made an unplanned launch from a casino and quickly ran into trouble. You see it right there. Police say strong winds pushed the balloon into the side of the casino building and then a power line before it came down safely in a nearby field about 20 minutes later. The pilot was the only person on board and nobody was hurt. A troubling new report says nearly half of all Americans are breathing unhealthy air. The American Lung Association found about 152 million people live in areas with dangerous levels of smog or soot. Children are especially vulnerable with dirty air linked to asthma and long-term lung problems, and communities of color are disproportionately affected. Plus, tech titans clash.
This is Ed Laskos. We are live tonight in Hollywood, and there is more controversy surrounding the late-night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel. Growing calls he'd be suspended, fired by the network. What's it all about this time? Stand by for that.
Plus, tech titans clash. A jury is set for the Elon Musk versus OpenAI showdown over the future of artificial intelligence.
Across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
Now at 9:30, President Trump is once again calling for Jimmy Kimmel to be fired. That's after the late-night host made a comment about Melania Trump. Let's go live to Ed Lascos in Hollywood with reaction there. Ed?
And Laura, reaction really starts with Jimmy Kimmel himself out with his opening monologue as they were taping his late-night talk show here a little while ago in Hollywood. Kimmel talking about what's been going on, saying he's grateful nobody was hurt in that shooting back in D.C. over the weekend, saying his opposition, strong opposition to gun violence is more on the record. And he says when it comes to that controversial joke, it really all comes down to free speech. Listen.
Under the First Amendment, we have, as Americans, a right to free speech. But with that said...
Hollywood, that's the El Capitan Theater where they tape the Jimmy Kimmel Live late-night talk show as Kimmel takes center stage and now is taking more heat from the White House again, all in the wake of this weekend's assassination attempt and the joke that Kimmel made on his show last Thursday. Here it is. Listen.
Our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
The audience laughing, but First Lady Melania Trump is not laughing, calling Kimmel's rhetoric hateful and violent, saying it, quote, isn't comedy. His words are corrosive and deepens the political sickness within America. A coward Kimmel hides behind ABC. Enough is enough, she says. And then you have President Trump also slamming Kimmel on social media, posting, quote, Kimmel's despicable call to violence. This is something far beyond the pale. Jimmy Kimmel should be immediately fired. And then even more reaction coming in, this from one of Kimmel's fans. Listen.
It's all fun and games until somebody gets hurt. And if him or anybody is intentionally trying to hurt somebody or jokes around that can cause someone's life or someone to lose their life, like, I don't agree with that.
This latest controversy surrounding Kimmel comes just 7 months after Kimmel and his late-night show all suspended the staff for several days by ABC over the fallout from his monologue joke he did back then about the deadly shooting of Charlie Kirk. Now another shooting with late-night humor and Jimmy Kimmel right back in the crosshairs.
If you want to silence Jimmy Kimmel, there's a lot of voices that also need to be silenced on other media that is leaning on the other side, and they say things that are much worse.
Now live back and forth, the debate goes. No comment from ABC as to what they might do, if anything, against Kimmel and the late night show at this point. Laura, remember that suspension 7 months ago. It took the ABC executives several days after that controversy hit to decide what action to do, and then they struck quickly with the suspension. I suspect at this point it'll be really watching to see if this controversy gains more speed, more weight as the days go by, and that probably will have a lot of factor, especially with the advertisers and what they'll do if they'll take any action at all.
Well, it's all interesting, and you were showing us a portion of the opening monologue. We know, of course, that Kimmel can be a very emotional guy. How would you describe his emotions as he was doing that monologue?
Well, you know, it was different when you talked about the suspension and when he came back after the Charlie Kirk joke all those months ago. Tearful Kimmel at that point. This case, not tonight, making some jokes about it, dealing with humor, so there wasn't any kind of a contrite feeling about it all, other than say that he was really grateful that nobody was hurt in the shooting as it went down.
Of course, it's all about timing. We know that the joke was made on Thursday, and then, of course, the attempted assassination on Saturday. So it all comes together, and it looks very bad. Did he talk about any of that?
Well, he made reference to it, saying, well, imagine I make this joke Thursday and a few days later this happens, and now there's a big controversy about it at all. But at sometimes with some of his other jokes and some of the other clips that they played from the correspondence dinner before all that hell broke loose, it almost seemed as if Kimmel was doubling down on the comedy on how it all played out and saying really it wasn't as serious as it was meant to be.
All right, Ed Laskos, live in Hollywood. Thank you so much.
That horrible act was stopped because of the courage and professionalism of law enforcement.
A 31-year-old Torrance man accused of attempting to assassinate President Donald Trump was in federal court earlier today. Authorities say Cole Thomas Allen traveled to Washington, D.C. armed with weapons and opened fire Saturday night, injuring a Secret Service agent who was saved by a bulletproof vest. Allen, a Caltech graduate, allegedly sent his family a manifesto and is being held without bail. If convicted, he faces life in prison. And we're learning more tonight about Allen as those who knew him are speaking out. The tutoring company where the suspect worked is also reacting. Fox 11's Rachel Aragon has the latest from Torrance.
Well, it's just shocking. Like I said, it was very shocking.
Cecilia Peralta in disbelief to learn the White House Correspondents' Dinner alleged shooter was a familiar face.
At the time when I saw the picture and I recognized him, I didn't realize that he had tutored her.
Cecilia, who did not want us to show her face, says she works at a nearby office on the same floor as the C2 Education Center in Torrance. Cole Allen, according to his LinkedIn profile, says he joined the tutoring company in 2020.
Come across him on the hallway, wouldn't look at you, he wouldn't interact, he'd come out and sit here and have lunch, and that's about it.
But he did allegedly have contact with Cecilia's 11-year-old daughter. She says the 31-year-old was one of her daughter's tutors at the Torrance location.
Showed him the picture and I said, hey, do you recognize them? And she's like, yeah, but I didn't bring anything else up.
According to the website, C2 Education provides tutoring, test prep, and college counseling. It also named Allen on its social media accounts as Teacher of the Month in December 2024.
Obviously, her safety is my priority, and while she was here, I did feel like she was safe.
Monday afternoon, the Torrance C2 location is normally up and running. This Monday was different. In a statement to Fox 11, C2 Education said, quote, "We were shocked to hear the news of the horrifying incident that transpired at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. We are cooperating fully with law enforcement to assist them in their investigation. Violence of any kind is never the answer." Cecilia says her daughter never expressed concern or anything out of the ordinary.
You just never know who you're around, and you see them and they're quiet, but it was kind of shocking to learn.
In Torrance, Rachel Aragon, Fox 11 News.
Tonight, Iran is reportedly floating a new proposal to the U.S. to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, but without addressing its nuclear program. Fox's Brian Yennis has more from Tel Aviv.
When they want, they can call me. We have all the cards. We've won everything.
President Trump is escalating his dual track of diplomatic and economic pressure as he tries to end the conflict with Iran. Over the weekend, he canceled a planned trip to Pakistan by his top negotiators. And now Iran has submitted a new proposal to end the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz in exchange for nuclear talks at a later time. That's likely a non-starter with President Trump, who says ending Iran's nuclear program is his top priority.
Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Very simple.
It's still not clear who's calling the shots in Iran, but some hardline elements are saying publicly they won't accept any deal that limits the country's nuclear enrichment.
Our red line has always been that enrichment must be recognized as a reality.
Iran's foreign minister traveled to Oman and Russia over the weekend, hoping to win support from regional allies, claiming the U.S. is holding up negotiations.
There have been developments in the talks. The U.S. approach caused the last round of talks to fail.
Meanwhile, Democrats on Capitol Hill are escalating their calls for President Trump to end the conflict before the economic damage gets worse.
Let me be clear. We need to end this war. Americans are struggling. Gas prices are up, food prices are up, housing costs are up.
Thanks to the blockade, President Trump says Iran's oil storage capacity is running low and that rising pressure in the pipelines could lead to explosions within days. In Tel Aviv, Brian Yennis, Fox News.
Gas prices are surging locally as global tensions crimp worldwide supplies. The price of Brent crude spiked to over $108 a barrel today, driven by stalled Iran-U.S.-Israel peace talks and recent standoffs in the Strait of Hormuz. That's a nearly 49% increase since the Iran war started. And here in LA County, the average for regular climbed for the fifth straight day, hitting $6.04 a gallon. Orange County is just a penny shy of $6, while Ventura and San Bernardino are sitting in the high 590s. Analysts warn pump prices will remain volatile until the instability caused by the Iran war cools down. It is the first time a British monarch has visited the States in nearly 20 years. King Charles lands in Washington, ready to meet with President Trump while on his 4-day tour. Fox's Caroline Elliott has more on the visit.
British royalty is back on American soil and just in time for the 250th anniversary of America's independence. President Trump hosting King Charles and Queen Camilla in Washington just days after a third assassination attempt. The royals landed at Joint Base Andrews and then, with respects to British tradition, joined President Trump and the First Lady for tea and a garden party at the British ambassador's residence. But for this soiree, hats are no
long-standing and special relationship between the United States and the United Kingdom.
The rare appearance from the royals isn't just for sentimental reasons. King Charles plans to highlight the long-held alliance between the U.S. and the U.K. as global tensions rise over the war in Iran.
Our allies are very important to us. There has been some strained relations because of things happening internationally, but I think the King's visit is very perfectly timed.
President Trump has asked NATO countries for support in reopening the Strait of Hormuz, including the United Kingdom, which has served as a key ally for decades. But that call has gone unanswered.
And if NATO teaches us any one thing, and I hope you all watched,
because they weren't there for us. We have to rely on ourselves.
On Tuesday, King Charles will deliver an address to Congress before traveling to New York City and Virginia. And New York, Caroline Elliott, Fox News.
Former actor Nathan Chasinghorse sentenced to life in prison for sexually assaulting Indigenous women and girls. A Las Vegas judge gave the former Dances with Wolves actor his sentence today. Chasinghorse was found guilty in January of 13 counts of child sexual abuse. Prosecutors alleged he used his reputation as a spiritual leader and healer to take advantage of Indigenous girls and women. Chasinghorse denies the charges against him, saying this is a miscarriage of justice to the judge. And tonight, a jury is now in place in Oakland for the closely watched courtroom battle between Elon Musk and Sam Altman. Musk says he was misled after helping launch OpenAI as a nonprofit, only to see it shift to a for-profit company. He's now suing Altman and OpenAI leadership, claiming his early support was used in ways he never agreed to.
Mr. Musk is saying is that the people at OpenAI and headed by Sam Altman made a promise when they started the company that they were going to leave artificial intelligence open to the world to use for the good of mankind and all that. And that at some point they wanted to have a profit motive.
The hurdle we think we need to get over is just to present the truth here. We've got a story about what happened that is consistent with the facts, it's consistent with the documents, and we just want the jury to see that.
The case carries sizable stakes for OpenAI, which is expected to go public later this year. Opening arguments are expected tomorrow. A massive tax hike on California's billionaires is one step closer to the November ballot. Labor leaders announced today here in LA that they've collected over 1.5 million signatures for the Billionaire Tax Act. If certified, analysts say that this could become the most expensive ballot fight in American history. If passed by voters in November, the measure would impose a one-time 5% tax on anyone in the state worth more than $1.1 billion. Supporters claim the move will generate $100 billion over 5 years. Revenue, they say, is critical to offset federal health care cuts and prevent statewide hospital closures.
With our signatures, we are demanding that billionaires pay their fair share so our hospitals, clinics, and emergency rooms can stay open. California voters have shown they are ready to fight to avoid health care cuts that will hurt millions.
Some argue a proposed billionaire tax could push wealthy residents and their tax dollars out of California. Governor Gavin Newsom and tech leaders share these concerns. Reports say Google co-founder Sergey Brin is spending millions to oppose it, as the tax could personally cost him $12 billion. Brin tells the New York Times fleeing socialism as a child shaped his perspective. Up next right here, LACMA debuts its stunning new Geffen Galleries. We'll tell you there. And plus, Hollywood meets Stagecoach. The iconic Arby's cowboy hat sign makes a surprise appearance, becoming a festival photo hit.
As we slide into the middle of this week, we are tracking a chance for some wet weather. I'll have those details and more on the other side of this break.
But let's head out live to Amsterdam in the Netherlands. This is the view from Hotel Nez from our Earth Cam. You're looking at Rembrandt Square. It's about 50 degrees there right now, and about 6:45 in the morning. Our executive producer, Haley, just got back from a trip there, and she absolutely loved it. Stay with us. We'll be right back. The David Geffen Galleries is now the new home for LA County Museum of Art's permanent collection. Fox 11's Coco McAvoy takes us inside.
Hey there, we are just 1 week away from the David Geffen Galleries opening to the public, and you can bet this is going to be a huge destination for people to see all of this beautiful artwork. I am here with Naima now, who is the Senior Vice President of Education and Public Programs, and we've been talking about how this was such a massive project, 7 years to complete.
Yes.
Why was it so important for LACMA to do this?
Well, one, I think it just gives us a bigger opportunity to show off our permanent collection. We have thousands of objects in our permanent collection, and this gives us opportunity just to show 2,000 more of them. And so you could imagine that people haven't seen this Diego de Rivera or a work by Lauren Halsey, or, I mean, there's just so many amazing works that we have that were in storage, and now our public gets to see more of them.
Yes, and you've got some big events coming up really to help celebrate this grand opening.
Yes, we do. On May 3rd, we have our Next Gen LA event, which is an opportunity for kids and their families to come into the galleries, see the space. We have scavenger hunts, and we have a DJ and Bob Baker's Marionette Theater. I mean, it's going to be a really amazing event. Next Gen LA is actually our free membership program for 17 years and younger. They are the members, and they can bring in a caregiver for free. It's really an amazing program. And then on May 4th, we completely open to the public. So anyone is available to come. You buy a ticket, come into the galleries, and see all the amazing work on view.
And talk about what's going to make this such a different experience for people when they come.
Well, one, I think just the way in which the artwork is arranged. Michael Govan, our fearless director, was really, adamant in terms of working with Peter Zumthor, the architect, on making sure that all the artwork is on one level. You don't have, contemporary art in one room and Egyptian art in another room and modern art in another room. There are so many stories that are weaved around, and that you're meant to kind of wander throughout the galleries. You're meant to kind of say, wait a minute, that looks interesting. Wait, what is around that corner? Wait, I see something that's really cool. So the way in which the galleries are laid out is meant to inspire this level of interest, curiosity, wonder, which is very different than how most museums are set up.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Naima, for talking to us. How exciting, just 1 week away before you can enter this brand new, beautiful building, massive project. And like Naima was saying, the flow is entirely different. So you'll really have that fresh and brand new experience. I can tell you I had it as I've been walking around as well. So again, May 4th is the grand opening date. But there's the event on May 3rd as well for families. I'll send it back to you.
Well, that is fascinating. And as we talk about that, we're also looking at the weather and what we can expect tonight into tomorrow. Star Harvey's got the latest.
Yeah, that's right. Shifting gears through the remainder of this evening, I can tell you that if you do have those late night plans or early morning getting out the door, maybe grab a coat, a sweater, something to keep yourself warm, because we will have those cooler conditions in place. As far as our highs today, they did slide cooler than our normal. 69 degrees was what we felt today across the downtown LA area. Normally we're at that 73-degree mark, and so as we do push towards the middle of this week, we are expecting that our temperatures will be a lot closer to their normal for the downtown LA area. And then as we skip into the end of the weekend, the start of our weekend, temperatures will be a lot warmer than that. In fact, we'll be seeing some of those upper 70s and maybe a few 80s. But through, I'd say, midweek, again, we are expecting those pleasant conditions. Inland could hit some 70s as well. Again, we will be warmer by the end of the weekend. We are looking at a chance for some of that wet weather sliding in as early as Wednesday night, lingering over into Thursday. And again, we're not talking any tumultuous rain. In fact, if any at all, we are talking about some of that spotty wet weather out there, and maybe a drizzle or two moving across the area. Right now, we're under those dry, mostly clear skies. As we move into tomorrow morning, we do have a buildup of cloud cover, not just along the coast, moving into some of our inland sections as well, as far east as the Inland Empire and up into our high deserts as well. By the afternoon, we will get some of that clearing, sunshine in place, and with that, temperatures sliding near their normal, rolling over into the middle of the week. We are starting Wednesday with beautiful skies. We will see those clouds building in ahead of the potential for some of our moisture arriving as well. There's a look at some of that spotty wet weather making its way into the area late Wednesday. over into Thursday morning as well. And then by the time we arrive at the back half of Thursday and into Friday, conditions clearing out for us. As far as our winds go, there will be times through this week where we could see those gusts kicking up, not just across our deserts, but possibly into some of our mountain areas as well. So something to watch for there. Temperature wise, shooting for 74 for the LA Inland Orange County area tomorrow. I talked about the likelihood of some upper 70s, low 80s sliding into this weekend. There's a look at it right here on our 7-day forecast. Along the coast, we are expecting some more of those 60-degree temperatures for not just tomorrow, but through, I'd say, at least the middle of this week. By Friday and into our weekend, we are tracking that our temperatures will be in the low to mid 70s across most of the area. And if you are in the valleys or the Inland Empire, expect your temperatures tomorrow to be in the mid to upper 70s. And that'll be the case through at least Thursday before Friday and this weekend arrives. And then you do get your dose of 80-degree temperatures as well. And we have to touch on those high deserts. Sunshine in place for you tomorrow, temperatures touching the 70s, and you will also see your temperatures ahead of some of the rest of us, but still jumping into the 80s by Thursday. And the 80-degree temperatures should be sticking around through your weekend as well. Back to you.
Thank you. Draft day dog, the hilarious moment, a chocolate lab steals the show during a Georgia football star's big NFL debut. And before we head to break, we're taking you to Hong Kong. This is a live look at the neighborhood Causeway Bay. Pretty cool from our Earth Cam. It's nearly 1 in the afternoon there and 82 degrees. Spotify and Peloton are teaming up to bring fitness to your ears. Spotify Premium users can now access over 1,000 guided Peloton workouts, including yoga, cardio, and meditation. Free and premium users also get playlists and content from top wellness creators. Peloton says more fitness videos will be added over time. To explore this new feature, just search fitness in the Spotify app. It's a fresh way to stay active and motivated through music and movement. And new at 9 o'clock, a beloved piece of Hollywood history made a surprise appearance at the Stagecoach Music Festival this weekend. The iconic Arby's cowboy hat sign, once a fixture on Sunset Boulevard, was restored and became a popular photo spot at the festival. Fans lined up near Diplo's Honky Tonk to snap pictures with the neon sign, which originally stood at a Hollywood Arby's that closed back in 2024. Georgia football player Oscar Delp was drafted by the Saints and celebrated with his family, but it's his chocolate lab stealing the spotlight. In a viral video, the dog hilariously noses its way onto the couch, trying to take Oscar's seat during the celebration. Fans online can't get enough of that adorable moment. And of course, you know that a chocolate lab would steal the moment. Who doesn't love a lab? Thank you for watching LA Live News tonight. Our 10 p.m. newscast is just minutes away on Fox 11. Christine Devine will be there to give you all the latest news. We hope to see you there. Good night, everybody.
What's that?
It's a Wizard electronic organizer for my dad. I'm going to Florida for his birthday.
How much was it?
$200, but I'll tell him it's $50. He doesn't care about the gift. He gets excited about the deal.
Where are you getting a Wizard for $50?
Tell him I got it on the street and maybe it's hot. That's his favorite.
I got a message from the Rosses at work today.
Susan's parents? When's the last time you talked with them?
At the funeral, give or take. You know, deep down, I always kind of felt that they blamed me for Susan's death.
Why? Because you picked out the poison envelopes? It's silly.
Daryl, these are people I know.
I gotta run, Elaine. I'll see you later.
Okay.
Still no putty?
Welcome to Good Night, LA. I'm Christine Devine. The Torrance man accused of opening fire at the White House Correspondents' Dinner facing a federal judge for the first time today in Washington, D.C. Federal prosecutors say 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen was stopped by Secret Service agents Saturday night after rushing security at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. The White House partly blamed anti-Trump rhetoric for inspiring the attack and urged Congress to fund the Secret Service.
This is the third major assassination attempt against President Trump in 2 years. No other president in history has faced such repeated, serious attempts on his life.
Prosecutors revealed he traveled from California to D.C. with weapons and left behind an alleged manifesto targeting Trump and his administration. He reportedly described his actions as a response to what he called injustices by those in power. So a quiet Torrance neighborhood where the presidential assassination suspect lived with his parents is under the global microscope tonight. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf is live in the South Bay with the latest. Matthew.
Well, Christine, it's been very, very quiet outside this home. No movement at all from anyone going in or out. No federal agents, really nothing except for media and curious neighbors as we begin to learn more about this suspect. A quiet Torrance neighborhood now the center of a federal investigation, where for 2 days media from across the world and curious neighbors have swarmed.
Came by to sort of get a look at the neighborhood and see a little bit of history, I suppose.
Prosecutors say 31-year-old Cole Allen of Torrance stormed the White House Correspondents' Dinner Saturday, opening fire with a shotgun. Within hours, we tracked him to this home where he'd been reportedly living with his parents. No answer. Investigators say just minutes before the attack, Allen sent loved ones a manifesto claiming it was his duty to target members of the Trump administration.
That horrible act was stopped because of the courage and professionalism of law enforcement.
In 2013, Allen graduated from Pacific Lutheran Private High School in Gardena, where he played volleyball. More recently, he worked as a tutor in Torrance, even named Teacher of the Month.
Come across him on the hallway, wouldn't look at you, he wouldn't interact. He'd come out and sit here and have lunch, and that's about it.
A staff member in the same building whose daughter also attends the center says this news is shocking.
Obviously, her safety is my priority, and while she was here, I did feel like she was safe.
Neighbors still driving by and snapping photos as Allen appeared in court Monday, charged with trying to assassinate President Donald Trump.
A little surprising that we end up getting somebody here with extreme views like that, but they're everywhere, I suppose.
Neighbors definitely tired of all this attention. Even at this hour, people are still driving by, taking our picture and taking pictures of this home. We're live tonight in Torrance. Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Thanks for the update there. President Trump is once again calling for Jimmy Kimmel to be fired. That's after the late-night host made a morbid comment about Melania Trump. We go live to Fox 11's Ed Laskos in Hollywood with reaction. Ed.
And Christine, Jimmy Kimmel himself is talking about the growing controversy in his opening monologue as he was taping his late-night talk show a little earlier tonight. Kimmel saying he's grateful no one was hurt in the shooting, saying that it happened so quickly there was no intent on violence. And then Kimmel actually doubling down on the First Amendment when it comes to that controversial joke. Watch.
Under the First Amendment, we have, as Americans, a right to free speech. But with that said...
Hollywood, that's the El Capitan Theater where they tape the Jimmy Kimmel Live late-night talk show. As Kimmel takes center stage and now is taking more heat from the White House again, all in the wake of this weekend's assassination attempt and the joke that Kimmel made on his show last Thursday. Here it is. Listen.
Our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania. So beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.